These are our people. These are our gente. We will all fight for everything that we have to protect them and protect their identity, their dignity, and to protect the promise of justice for everyone who calls California home.
We denounce him, and we denounce the United States Supreme Court. How dare them?
California lawmakers reacting to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling to lift restrictions on immigration raids. The decision gives a green light to federal officials to resume stops based on appearance, language, and location. A temporary ruling reversing a lower court decision that found agents were targeting people based on race in violation of the Fourth Amendment.
The Supreme Court decision is a win for the Trump administration, but it is by no means the end. Another court date over how the government conducts immigration enforcement is going to be set for later this month, September 24th.
Joining us now, our chief legal analyst, Khalif. Justice Kavanaugh said it's not just race, it's just one of the factors allowed in. But I want to read something from Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who said it is yet another grave misuse of our emergency docket. We should not live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job. Khalif, what's your thoughts on the ruling?
I got lots of thoughts. We don't have enough time to unleash all of my thoughts, but I'm going to drop as much education on folks as I can this morning. Justice Kavanaugh, he did say what you mentioned earlier, that race is something that alone shouldn't be used, but he did mention a number of things where race could be something that be considered, that it could be used as reasonable suspicion to stop someone, and he listed a number of reasons how he got to that point, specifically that it was the high demographic population of illegal aliens in that area. He cited 10% as a rationale as to why that can be a factor that can be considered based just on their race. But when you look at the lower court's docket, what happened is a federal court found that during these raids where they were going to farms and parks in different locations, that they, based on the evidence that was presented at that court, that their used apparent race was the decision, that it was they spoke Spanish, that the location where they were found, and the type of job that they were doing. Basically, that any stereotypical idea that you can think of was used to go round up folks, and that was the basis for the lower court saying this is unconstitutional. This isn't something that should occur. You hit on a couple of things with Sotomayor. Yes, she said that first point about, yes, this is a grave misuse of our docket, right? That rather than stand idly by while our constitutional freedoms are lost, I dissent, because it's unconscionable, irreconcilable with our nation's constitutional guarantees. I dissent. I know I'm being a little bit longer here, Jason. I'll let you jump in, but let me say
No,
this.
it's good.
Dissents are important. Dissents are normally forward-focusing. They're looking at the moment now, and they're disagreeing with what the majority said. Let me be clear. The majority didn't say anything. This was one of those opinions where it was an unsigned opinion. What we're talking about, what Kavanaugh did, was a concurrence to the unsigned opinion. Then Sotomayor dissented. In her dissent, scathing, obviously, blistering. But this is an example of where the majority, years later, will look back and say, we got this wrong. And the majority has done that before in history, Plessy v. Ferguson. They don't like admitting it, but when they admit it, they can clearly say, you know what? We were wrong. None of the justices that were alive during the time when Plessy v. Ferguson was decided were alive when Brown happened, 58 plus years later. But I can imagine that every last one of them would have admitted, you know what, we got it wrong. So in the Brown court, they said that, yes, separate was inherently unequal. What was the next case? Kuramoto versus United States, 1944, Japanese internment camps. What did they say in Trump v. Hawaii in 2018? Justice Roberts says the court got it wrong, gravely wrong that day when it was decided. Yeah, it just took 60 plus years for you to recognize that it was wrong. I may not be alive when the court recognizes what they did yesterday was inherently wrong, that you have now opened the door for folks to be racially profiled on a whole different level. The court has now not just agreed, but enforced and okayed you to say you can go to where people work, go and listen for them to speak, and that is now your reasonable suspicion to stop them. It's opening the door for something that we have never been to this place yet, and I am scared to where we're going next.
Khalif, first of all, you don't have to apologize. This is your courtroom. So you go as long as you want to. I don't care if I don't get a question in or not. We're just scratching the surface of your opinion on this. I want to continue with what you guys are both saying with Sotomayor and some of what she said. She said this ruling could enable behavior like grabbing, throwing to the ground, handcuffing people, all based on their look, accent, manual labor jobs. So here the lower court is finding evidence of unconstitutional treatment.
Yes.
Help me see the why. Like, why would an administration, whatever administration's office, why would you, if there's even a hint at unconstitutional behavior going on, why would you even tiptoe into this pool of what's about to happen?
Yeah, I don't think that this administration is concerned with tiptoeing. I think they want to go full-fledged into that area, and they want to challenge the court's authority. They're asking the court to strengthen and enforce and increase the executive's power and ability. And so when you do that, you have to be forceful. And so that is a calculated move. This isn't I'm going to tiptoe around the Fourth Amendment. I'm going to tiptoe around what the rules they're saying in our Constitution. No, I'm going to try to knock down some of these barriers, and I'm going to put it under the mask of hate, fear, and anything else. So I'll always merge these things that I'm doing with the violence that these people are doing. So anytime you hear the administration talk about anything with illegal immigrants, it's always connected with guns or drugs and piles of something that was done illegally. And those statistics for the folks that they're arresting is significantly lower than actually what's occurring. If you look at all the numbers that they've put out so far, it's only like 3% of the folks that they are deporting that even have been convicted of crimes. But yet anytime you see a press conference with Kristi Noem or anyone with this administration, it's always laid out with guns and drugs. And yes, we've grabbed these rapists and murderers. And while I can admit those things are happening, statistically, they are significantly lower than the average everyday people that they are arresting. The folks that are at Home Depot, the people that are standing in lines trying to work and provide for their families. And you don't see those with the numbers. What you are seeing is, okay, we got murderers out here. We got rapists off the streets, and now our streets are safer. And so because they gauge it under that, now folks will be okay with that. I'm all right with going head first and not tiptoeing.
And they did say that when they are apprehended and it's found out that maybe they are here legally, that they are immediately released. I do want to continue with something that Kavanaugh said, that these circumstances taken together, as you mentioned, can constitute at least reasonable suspicion of illegal presence in the United States, talking about race, language, and some other factors. But my question is, for Khalif, can you take this decision and use it elsewhere? Does this set precedent for something else as we talk about, well, we're looking at this demographic of people. They have a higher rate of committing crime. So we're going to say this is enough reason for us to just start picking up anybody off.
100%. And the sad part is we have been here before and folks just don't recognize it. In New York, they did the same thing when they were stopping people. They were doing these random searches for book bags. Stop and frisk. In New York, at that time, I was there and I remembered they were only stopping African Americans. They were only stopping Latinos. And then they recognized, the court said, this is illegal. You can't do this. And they had to stop. However, now we have a court that is open to allowing these types of things to happen. But that is a clear, blatant violation. So you ask the question, can it trickle over into other cases? Surely. I need reasonable suspicion to be able to now transgress to probable cause. If I get probable cause, I can stop you. So what is my underlying evidence to get my reasonable suspicion? It's your race. It's the language that you're speaking. That's helping me. As Kavanaugh said, the totality of the circumstance, those are the types of things I'm using to strengthen and bolster my argument to why I believe a crime has occurred. If that's the only evidence that you have, then in these high populated areas where folks speak Spanish, it's going to be open season for anybody walking down the street. And I'll go back to Sotomayor. She's saying that. She says, you shouldn't be fearful because the language you speak in walking down the street. These dissenters, the Harlans, the Black, the Holmes, these folks, when you go back and look at it, if you are a person of history that likes it, these folks wrote things that later became the opinion of the court. The things they wrote on paper in their dissents 10 years, 20 years, 40 years later, if you go back and line them up, they literally took their language and it became the opinion of the court years later.
All right, we know this is not the end of this conversation or this case by any stretch of the imagination. Khalif, thanks.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.